Hey y'all, welcome to Shoni D Handmade. Today we're going to be working on the half granny square. First I have the half shaped like a triangle, and second I have a half shaped like a rectangle. What you'll need for our project is your choice of 4 medium worsted weight yarn, the hook of your choice. My choice is a 6mm hook, scissors, and a yarn needle. So first, let's start with the triangle. Okay, what we're going to do is take our yarn, slip knot, okay, and we're going to do a chain 4 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert your hook at the beginning of the chain, grab the yarn and pull through, and take that yarn through the loop that was originally on the hook. Okay, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This stands in as a double crochet chain 1. Okay, open that loop. Make sure you're holding on to your yarn to crochet over your tail while you're holding your loop open. Then we're going to create 1 granny cluster, yarn over, insert your hook, pull that yarn to the other side, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, we're going to do 2 more double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, pull yarn to the other side, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to make 1 more double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, make another granny cluster with 3 double crochet, okay, chain 1. Then we're going to double crochet back inside that loop. Make sure we're holding that yarn tail while we're holding the loop. 1 more double crochet, right? So you should have a chain 4 granny cluster, chain 1 granny cluster, chain 1 double crochet. Doesn't look like anything now, but we're going to move on. Okay, now we're ready for the next row. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This counts as a double crochet chain 1. Turn your work, just flipped from this side to this side, and inside of this chain 1 space right here where my finger is, we're going to put a granny cluster. Okay, that's 3 double crochet. If you'd like me to create a slower video on how to do double crochet, please let me know and I'll go ahead and create another video. Chain 1. Inside of here is our corner. This big space right here where my finger is going inside of, this is our corner for our triangle. So we're going to put granny cluster, chain 1, granny cluster, as all of our corners are made when making things with a granny square or in the granny square style. Chain 1, and then that second granny cluster, chain 1. Now on this side we're going to put a granny cluster, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, So let's go. Granny cluster. Chain 1. Now that double crochet is going to go inside the top of this initial chain 3, not the top of the chain, the 4th chain, the 3rd chain. We're going to the top of the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to double crochet into that chain right there. Get your hook, stab it inside, okay, and double crochet right there. Now we're starting to look more like a triangle. Let's go to the 3rd row. Okay, so now this is where the rows start to repeat. Okay, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn our work. Inside of this space here, we're going to put a double crochet, granny cluster. That's 3 double crochet is 1 granny cluster. Okay, chain 1. Inside of here, our triangle is growing. We go inside of this chain 1 space and put another cluster, granny cluster. Just remember, this is the side of our triangle. Chain 1. And when we get here at the point, we put a cluster, chain, cluster. And our point is always going to look like that. Cluster, chain, cluster. That's what our corners will always look like when pointing on the shorter side of the triangle. Okay, so let's cluster, chain, cluster. That's 1 cluster, chain, and another cluster. Okay, chain 1. Let's go into this side of the triangle and put a granny cluster, just 1. This is not a corner. Chain 1. And in this open space right here, we're going to put a cluster. Chain 1. Then we go to the top of the initial chain, 1, 2, 3. Put a double crochet. Every now and then, if the yarn look like it's pulling like that, instead of going into that part, I take 2 parts of the chain instead of just 1, so it doesn't look so stretched out. Okay, that's 3 rows. Now we have a triangle going. And let's go ahead and finish it off. For our original triangle, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Meet me at the end. Remember, it continues to repeat. It's only going to grow bigger, and meet me at the end so we can bind off our ends. Okay, y'all, I'm at the end of my last row. Putting in a granny cluster here. Chain 1. And don't be afraid to move your stitches around to get to the 1, 2, 3, 3rd chain. Insert your hook. Sorry. Yarn over, insert your hook. Okay, and I'm going to chain 1 to finish that row. Snip that yarn. Okay. Now we have half of a square. Right, let's take our yarn needle, pull this tight in the middle. Okay. weave those ends, pull tight. Now when I have a triangle, only go through one side. Okay, pull through. You don't want it to be too tight. Just this tight is good enough. And then I weave going downward. I don't have any special way to weave it in. I just make sure the yarn is tucked. Looks like my yarn is tucked pretty good, so let me go ahead and cut that off. And then on our end, I go first through the direction of the chain on this side, or the stitches on this side. And then in towards a downward direction. Okay. Don't pull too tight. You don't want to mess up the shape of your triangle. And there we go. Now let's get started on the other half of granny square, where we have two corners, two full corners and two half corners. Okay, now that I'm reset, let's get started. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Connect to the beginning of the chain with our 4 chain loop. Okay, this is how we start all of our granny squares. Don't forget to hold that tail on the side with your loop so we can crochet over that loop. Okay, now let's get started. We're going to start with a granny cluster, chain 1, granny cluster, chain 1, granny cluster. Okay, let me show you. 1, 2, 3 stands in for a double crochet, 3 chains. Then we're going to put 2 more double crochet to finish off the cluster. Chain 1. Okay, then we're going to put another cluster. Don't we hate that sound when the yarn starts sounding like rubber, but it's probably because my hands are sweaty. Chain 1, another cluster. Okay, so what we have is a 3 cluster base for our half of a granny square that goes into the shape of a rectangle. Now let's move on to the second row. Okay, so now that we're going into the next row, it's going to be a 2-row repeat instead of a 1-row repeat like the triangle was. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to put a corner into this first chain space right here. So skip over all of this, put a corner, which a corner is a granny cluster, chain 1, granny cluster. Okay. Chain 1, back into that same space, another cluster. Chain 1, This is a second corner right here, second full corner. Granny cluster, chain 1, granny cluster. Sorry y'all, my yarn getting tight. Okay, chain 1 and another granny cluster. Then chain 1, and at the top of this granny cluster, the top of the granny cluster from the previous row, we're going to put a double crochet into the top of that very first double crochet of the granny cluster, this one right here. Okay, let's move on to the next row. Okay, now this row you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work and put 2 double crochet inside of this chain space. 1 and 2. This is now a granny cluster to straighten out the end of this rectangle shape of the half granny square. Chain 1. This is still a corner, so we're going to put a cluster, chain cluster. Chain 1. This is now a side right here, a side. So we're only putting 1 granny cluster. Chain 1. And now we're back into another full corner, which is a cluster, chain cluster. Don't forget, it's all inside that same space. Okay, chain 1. You're going to go inside of this space right here and put 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Let's get back in there. And 2. There we go. Now you're going to go to the top of this chain, not the 4th chain. We're going to the 3rd. 1, 2, 3. Pull them stitches back a little bit. Insert your hook and put a double crochet to end our granny cluster for this row. Hope I'm not confusing you guys, but we're not going to, the second, the 1, 2, 3rd row is not the same as the 2nd row. Okay, the 4th row will not be the same as the 3rd row. This is a 2-row repeat. I'm going to do 2 more rows with you so that you we make sure you get it. Now we start the next row with 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work. Your first granny cluster is going to go inside of this open space. Chain 1. Then we're going to go into this corner with a cluster, chain cluster. Chain 1. Now we're into the side, which has grown to a cluster here and a cluster here. So Let's go ahead and put a cluster, one cluster in the sides per chain one space. Okay, chain one, go into that other side, that other part of the side right here. Put one cluster, chain one, and now we're back at a full corner. Remember, a corner is a what? A cluster, chain, cluster. Okay, 1, 2, 3, double crochet makes a cluster, chain one, and another 1, 2, 3, double crochet makes a cluster, chain one. We're going to put a double granny cluster right here in this side. Chain one, go to the top of this 3 chain that makes this cluster right here. You're going to the top of this one right here. 1, 2, 3, and put a double crochet. Hopefully this is all starting to make sense now. And when I end my half granny square, when it looks like a rectangle, I usually end on a row where I begin with a granny cluster. So let's go to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th row for this square. Okay, now in our last row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, stands in for a double crochet, flip your work, put 2 double crochet inside of that first chain space. This is our full granny cluster here. Chain 1, and go into this side right here, put 1 cluster. Y'all, I tried to cool my hands and dry them. I'm still squeaking. I'm so sorry. Chain 1. Then we go into our corner. I think we all remember how a corner is made. I think it's very important to remember. That way when our granny squares and half squares and hexagons and pentagons are not taking the right shape, we know where we went wrong. So we know what a corner is supposed to look like as opposed to a side. Chain 1. Then we have a side right here that we're going into, which is only 1 cluster. Chain 1. Sorry, y'all. I have to get used to crocheting in the frame. Thank you for bearing with me all this time. I know I keep moving my arms. Still figuring out where my camera is supposed to go. And now we're in our last full corner. Okay. Chain 1. Put your cluster in this side right here. Y'all know where we at. Chain 1. And now we're at the end of this row. 2 double crochet inside of this space. Just to reiterate, 2 double crochet inside this space. And you go to the 1, 2, 3, top of this 3 chain. It's 4 chains, but top of the 3rd chain, and put your last double crochet. Let's do it together. So double crochet here, and another double crochet in there, And to finish off, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the top of that 3 chain, which makes our last cluster. Chain 1, pull that yarn a bit, and then we're going to cut off our end. And now, okay, y'all, I'm not sure what happened, but now that I've woven in my ends, somehow off camera, the camera just cut off for whatever reason. Same way that I weave in all of my videos. Thing about the rectangle is not that it's perfectly a half of a granny square, but if you are making a project and you need a neckline to dip in, this works well for something like that, or filling in gaps or filling in clothes in places. Also with our triangle, you know, you can create necklines with that. Fill in gaps, fill in closed in spaces, or continue with this triangle to make a triangle shawl. Same with the rectangle. I hope you guys found this tutorial very helpful. If you don't mind, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.